We're going to get a business news update now with an unprecedented development in international development finance. The International Monetary Fund will be issuing a loan to a country that is at war. France 24's business editor, Charles Pellegrin, joins us on set to tell us more. Hi, Charles.
That's right, Allison. Hi. That country, obviously, is Ukraine, and a staff-level agreement has been reached with the IMF for a loan which should be finalized in the coming weeks. The multilateral lender based in Washington recently changed a rule now allowing loans to countries facing, quote, exceptionally high uncertainty without naming Ukraine specifically. Now, in a statement, the IMF explained the new program will help Kyiv in dealing with the devastating impact of Russia's invasion with destruction of infrastructure, capital, and rising poverty levels. Well, economic activity contracted 30% in 2022 compared to close to 3.5% of growth the year before. And the forecast for 2023 shows GDP could move anywhere between a 3% contraction and growth of 1%. Now, the IMF loan of $15.6 billion over 4 years would be one of the biggest financial packages Ukraine has received since the start of the war. It would unfold in 2 stages, the first 12 to 18 months devoted to building fiscal and financial stability, so making sure Kyiv's accounts are in the clear and sustainable, and then supporting recovery and early reconstruction. All of this will obviously depend on how the situation on the battlefield will evolve. Well, Moscow's full-scale invasion of Ukraine, shifting economic priorities in Europe, demand for photovoltaic panels has leapt in Germany since the government decided to end its reliance on Russian gas. But the booming solar industry could soon be threatened by a shortage of qualified workers. Andrew Hillier has the story.
On the outskirts of the German capital, these trainees are putting their new skills to the test. Many drop their old careers to train at the Enpal Academy, where they're learning how to wire solar panels.
I was in the mood for a job change. I applied here and got an answer right away. They said yes, and now here I am.
Caught out by its dependence on Russian oil, demand for solar panels has soared in Germany since Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine. Last year, the country got 46% of its energy needs from renewable sources. It aims to boost that figure to 80% by 2030. But a growing shortage of qualified workers is making it hard to meet the government's target.
We have to train an unbelievable number of people, including those who change careers, and these are the challenges. And in some cases, we teach bus drivers or taxi drivers how to find their way around electrical systems.
Analysts say the country needs an extra 216,000 electricians, heating experts and IT specialists to meet demand. Over the past 2 decades, some 100,000 jobs were lost in the sector to rising economies like China. But there's hope Germany's solar panel industry could soon shine again.
Now there are many entrepreneurs who say, I want to make a difference. I want to rebuild the solar industry in Europe, in Germany.
One thing that could ease the worker shortage, new immigration proposals put forward by the government. They're expected to pass later in the year.
And stubborn inflation in the United Kingdom amid an ongoing cost of living crisis. The Office for National Statistics showing price increases in the country went up 10.4% year on year in February. That's the first increase in 3 months and more than the forecasted 9.9% increase. This will keep the pressure on the Bank of England to raise interest rates further when it meets on Thursday. Now, a look at the stock markets and the markets in Europe opening the session lower. The FTSE in London down just under 1/3% on the back of that inflation data. The DAX in Frankfurt and the Paris CAC 40 also opening the session lower. And indices in Asia are in the green at the end of their session, with the Nikkei in Tokyo leading the gains just under 2%. The Hang Seng in Hong Kong not far behind at 1.8%. On the agenda this Wednesday, obviously, the conclusion of the Federal Reserve Open Markets Committee and the decision by the U.S. Central Bank on where interest rates will be going next, with a delicate balancing act of raising rates to fight inflation on the one hand, but not so much as to create more banking turmoil. And you saw it there, we're in Scotland now with a new study that shows the minimum pricing set on alcohol in 2018 may have led to a 13% decrease in the number of alcohol-related deaths. When the law was put into effect in 2018, it had led to a wave of criticism, especially for those with lower incomes who felt unfairly targeted. The study compared the years before and after the price floor was set up, as well as as comparing Scotland with England, where there is no such law, and it found that on average, 156 more people would have drunk themselves to death every year since 2018 if prices hadn't gone up. Alison, that price floor set up in Scotland also now applied in places like Wales, Ireland, and in some provinces in Canada as well.
Yeah, I think definitely worth paying more for alcohol if it's going to keep people from dying from it. Charles Belgrand, thank you very much for the day's business update.